Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Block Sauce, your weekly web show that serves up the juiciest discussions in the world of Web3 and gaming culture. I'm your host and 021 ambassador, Jin Kieran. Yes, there has been a rebrand, so make sure you guys check them out. Well, we got a pretty good panel lined up for you guys and some hot topics, so we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. You guys know the drill. Grab your controller, crack open a Mountain Dew, and prepare to get your game on. Let's go. Hey there, sauce enthusiasts. It's time to bring the heat with another electrifying episode of The Block Sauce. As you guys can see, we have a little bit different layout today because we have an extra panelist. More about that later. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and give a rundown of everybody we have joining us today because, well, some of them you may recognize, some of them you may not. But today, we have Erica with us, which you see over there. How are you doing today, Erica? Welcome back.
Fabulous. Thank you. How are you today?
Not bad, not bad. I'm glad to have you on the show again. Thanks for taking time out of your week to join us. What do you want? That was a very brief intro. Like, promote yourself, shield yourself. What do you do here?
I don't know anymore. I really don't know. No. Keeping busy, definitely. Web3 gaming is heating up. We've got a lot of games that are, doing campaigns right now, and that's what I do. Is primarily right now is content creation. I do have a live show that I do. It's kind of put on hold right now just because it is so busy, and I only have so many hours in the day. So the GG show is a little bit on hold right now, but it's not permanently on hold, so we'll be coming back. But yeah, otherwise, been in the space for a while.
Those are on Saturdays, right?
Yeah, Saturday. Yep. Mm-hmm.
See,
so I need
to start.
Yeah, I need to start it up again. But as you know, it takes so much time to just go through all of the news and pick out the topics from day to day. It's very time consuming. Like anybody who has ever done a news show and, just being one person producing it, it's very time consuming. So, but yeah, it'll be back soon. But I'm happy to be here too. It's nice to connect again.
It's only made worse by the fact right now all the news is like partnership and funding announcements. And it's like, that's not what I like to cover. So I had to dig deep just to get our topics this week because, yikes. Bring me the games. Bring me the play test. Let me promote your game.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. And of course, speaking of content creators, we also have Empress Rayon with us. How are you doing today?
What's up? Thank you for having me on again, Jenny Kieran. Happen to be here.
What are you working on?
Oh my gosh, what am I working on? Oh my God, I feel like there's so much in the chamber. We've been working with what? We got Seedify, Bloodloop, Haven's Compass, Pixels. It's amazing to see just how many really, really good games there are right now to just be playing, gaming, creating content on. So yeah, just been having a blast with all that.
Awesome. And how about yourself, Patrick?
Oh, just building away. Keeping busy with Rogue Nation. We're still in pre-alpha. Updates to economy, updates to all sorts of things. We are updating progression, about to drop some, I guess it would be pretty alpha-licious, but very soon we will be dropping an upgrade path on our weapons. So...
And if you don't know about Rogue Nations, and you can go back and watch our YouTube video because we actually interviewed them and talked about the game, and I got to play it a little bit with them. So yeah, But this is his first time being on our live show, I believe.
I think it's maybe second,
maybe
third. I don't know. It's a blur. Everything's.
Oh man. Yeah. And of course, we've got DeFi Zoo Racer joining us again. This is his second time on the panel. How are you doing today?
Yeah. Thanks for having me back. I'm doing well. Just another Thursday to get saucy with the crew here.
Did you get a haircut or something?
I got a beard cut. So yesterday was my wife's birthday, and she was like, "Oh, I just want to be able to see your face and not look homeless." So make happy wife, happy life. So yeah, now I look like a little more professional. But yeah, like I said before in a previous intro, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades in crypto, blockchain, Web3, DeFi. I'm working with a handful of like different games, just like on like the ambassador creator level. But probably like the newest role that I'm excited about is kind of more of a niche role, except for it's literally in my name, but now it's like kind of like rebranding to a new home and like new vision. So the player gaming blockchain, I'm the chief ambassador officer of, which basically what that is, it's going to be a new subnet on Avalanche for gaming, but the ecosystem itself has already existed for the past 3 years or so. There's already 6 working games. It's really just a matter of moving the old ecosystem, which was Zoo Games, and the Zoo ecosystem onto the player gaming blockchain, and the gamer the gamer ecosystem is going to be what Zoo Games was. So definitely excited to be working with the team kind of on an official capacity now. So it really was just like an OG community member, ambassador, like for, years, kind of just, trying to work my own bags for a while. But now I'm like, the real deal. So kind of really excited to see what happens the next few months there as we actually get up and running on the Avalanche subnet, testnet, and mainnet, and things to come there for sure. But other than that, I probably keep my rotation of Web3 games to like 5 or 6. I can't play like I hear people that are like, oh, I have a notion. I played 250 Web3 games. I'm like, my brain doesn't work that way. I gotta do the deep, like, feel like I'm grinding the game and like, getting on like a few times a week at least to really feel like I enjoy the games. So that's what I love about Web3 is like people are all doing their own thing. If you want to play a million games, you can do that. If you want to grind one game, you can do that. And there's not a right way or a wrong way. We're all just finding our own thing to do here.
That's not even a Web3 exclusive problem though, because I'll tell you right now, at the beginning of the year, my friends, my Web2 gamer friends, they were buying like every game that dropped. And I was trying to keep up. We went from like Power World to Helldivers to this to that. And then somebody's got an open mic. Hello? Oh, there we go. I don't know what that was, but there was like wind or something coming through, like somebody was scratching their mic. So sorry about that. But I could not keep up. So now I'm to the point, I'm like, I got probably 2 Web2 games that I play every week. Maybe I'll throw in a third. And then I kind of find a Web3 game to mix in with it. Because at the end of the day, I still don't feel Web3 gaming's to the point I can play it daily as a gamer. It's great for degens, speculators. Like if you're into the economy side, that's perfect. There's plenty of games that are catering to the economist. I'm not one of those. I want the game. Like big time, if they put out Raid and everything else, I would probably be playing the heck out of it. But right now, World of Warcraft does everything big time does and more for me as a gamer. And that's kind of where I'm stuck right now is like, yeah, I could play big time and grind for those NFTs and maybe make some money, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to have fun. And we're starting to finally find games that are bringing me that I can dive in for hours a week. It's just, it's slow. We're going to take a while to start seeing the real gems shine through. And we got, of course, games like Rogue Nation that are building on mobile. And those are just different experiences. I don't consider them bad games, but they're not for me because whenever I'm playing mobile, I'm sorry, but if I'm playing a mobile game, it's got to have PC cross compatibility and cross progression. So that way I can jump between mobile and PC.
Oh, definitely. Well,
but it's not just
we're actually going to be releasing on PC.
So,
okay. Yeah. Very soon.
So we do have
2 weeks.
Real soon. Okay, a little alpha here. There we go. And before we continue on and jump into the topics, I want to say hi to all of our viewers who are in the chat right now. We got Ghost, who said that he is leaving his home of Twitter and X to watch us on YouTube today. Congratulations. Welcome to the chat. I know that you've been having issues with chat, so we have definitely seen you on our posts. I was supposed to give you a shout out last week, and I completely forgot. I'm sorry, Ghost. That is my bad. But thank you for showing up, tuning in, and hanging out with us. Rod says, great panel. And we also have somebody asking if I've played Seraph. No, I have not played Seraph. When it comes to ARPGs like Diablo in them, I loved them back in the day, but they all have the same pitfall these days. The end game is just grind, repeat grind, and I can't do that. I need more challenge. I need more to my end game. So Seraph, I've got eyes on, but no, not super hyped or interested in right now. We'll see what they do. But that being said, we do have a list of crazy topics. First thing that I think has been everybody's feed this week, probably at some point or another, Biden has signed the quote-unquote TikTok ban bill. Now, this isn't a direct ban. Essentially, I believe they gave ByteDance, I think it was 6 or 9 months to sell off TikTok to a U.S. company, and then it wouldn't be banned. Obviously, TikTok is not taking this lightly. They're gearing up their legal team from the sounds of it, and they're going to try to fight it. So the thing that this stuck out to me. So I'll show you how this ties into Web3 and gaming here in a second. But the thing that stuck out to me on this is when the Chinese representative made a statement, he was trying to use the U.S. Constitution as justification that they can't be blocked. Last I checked, the U.S. Constitution applies to U.S. citizens, not Chinese corporations. That's just that. I feel like there's no weight on that argument.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think ultimately, wasn't it? I think one of the hangups was where they were actually storing the data, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that where are the servers located? Like, what is the pass through of the data? Like, are you pulling this?
That was the original issue when this all started. I believe this actually started years ago, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So this has been going on for a while.
Issue.
Yeah.
But I believe that they did move the data storage to U.S. servers, which is why it kind of got quiet for a while. But now it seems like the U.S. is back on their tirade of get rid of China.
Exactly. So what's interesting, so like if you just look at DAU numbers, I think it's 140 million for TikTok in the US, which is insane. This is 40% of the entire population is a daily user of TikTok. So like what a bold move in an election year to essentially like kind of put off like your main crowd, like especially for Biden, right? Like, I mean, I think a lot of the younger generation is what he's relying on for votes. But so one, that's like the political side of things, which I like, whatever, I don't really want to touch that side. The ramifications towards other technological platforms, I think is a bit hairy at the moment. I think a lot of the tweets yesterday were about, okay, what's next, Telegram? Where does X stand in this? Like a lot of people are calling about like freedom of speech going too far on X. So I think this is really kind of going to have to like magnifying glass, go through, line by line, what's actually in the bill. But man, super interesting.
So in terms of the Web3 and gaming, the reason I did want to bring this up is I feel like if this goes through and they do lose the challenge and they are forced to either sell or ban TikTok, let's approach this topic from a potential ban perspective, right? A lot of games rely on TikTok for marketing purposes, and even some of the sponsored deals that I've come across, they want like TikTok videos, right? So do you think that this is something, if it goes through, again, this is speculation, do you think that the game projects in Web3 are going to have to shift their marketing strategies, or do you think they'll just avoid US creators?
I think I got a piece on this. So I think this like is really overdrawn and overhyped right now because I'm not even a huge TikTok user. I might have like 300-400 followers and post some shorts and stuff there. If I got to 1,000, maybe I'd live stream there. But the thing is, even if the ban goes through and this like acquisition doesn't happen, you're not going to lose the app on your phone. You're just going to lose the ability to download the app. You're not going to lose the ability to use the app on your desktop. You just go to a website and use the app. Like there's not going to be like a big great firewall of the United States to block TikTok. They're literally just going to stop like Samsung and Apple from redistributing the app. So if you have an account,
I would be
you're
careful. I think you might be undergeneralizing a little bit there, because you forget that the government also works with service providers, and that's how they track down malicious actors. They could very well work with the ISPs to block TikTok traffic.
I'm going off of what the last information was that they were going to block the redistribution of the app itself, because I would highly doubt they would go onto, you know, the IP or ISP level. I think it's a lot overblown. And it's just like this, it's like this big headline thing that, like, you know, people are like, oh no, do I delete TikTok? Do I stop doing TikTok? Why? Like, if you like TikTok and it's working for you and it's doing something for you, keep doing it, because the people who quit, you got less competition now. That's the way I see it. It's
at
like,
a minimum, we got 9 months.
Why not just keep going until the end? Like, and I'm not even saying there is an end. I just think it's way overblown, and people always forget to look past the headline and actually see, if this happens, what will happen. And, you know, the last time I looked, it was that they would block the service for providers from redistributing the app. But you won't get the app deleted. You'll be able to go on the website. I don't think it's an issue. And the other thing too is, think about how many people are using things like CapCut and whatnot, which is also provided by ByteDance. Are they going to block that too? Come on. No, like,
good point.
How many other apps do they have too? They probably have, you know, some other ones I don't even know about.
I'm just saying, Tencent owns, well, at least has their hands in probably half of the gaming industry, and we're installing games that they've invested into all over the place. So to me, this is silly. The way I see it, I think the U.S. is being silly. The government has much bigger fish to fry than TikTok. We've seen data breaches constantly in U.S. companies as well. I mean, just recently, I believe AT&T had some huge breach. I say this as an AT&T customer. I don't know. To me, I think this is dumb. I think the government should definitely be reprioritizing elsewhere. But I could also live without TikTok, because I see the kids that are mimicking everything and doing
the doom scrolling.
Stuff. Well, no, they had I think he was 12 or 14-year-old that just died. I think it was a month or two ago, because they were doing that stupid chroming challenge where people are huffing spray paint or something like that. And
Jeez.
That's the kind of stuff. That's why I'm actually against TikTok. Is the moderation is absolutely doo-doo. The algorithm feeds us some of the most mind rot content imaginable. And the thing is, if you compare it to the algorithm that provides content to Chinese users, they get like motivational stuff. They get inspirational stuff. They get stuff that motivate them to do better. They don't get these stupid challenge videos. They don't get a bunch of politicians raging in a courthouse. The content served to U.S. residents is just so drastically different than what they're serving the rest of the world. And that's where I see a problem, because I feel like this is making people dumber. And that's why people we should sit here and be like, oh, well, Darwinism, it's people fucking around and finding out, right? I don't like that concept. If you can stop people from doing stupid stuff and all it takes is banning one app, I'm for it. But I think TikTok could also resolve this without banning it, just by actually having moderation.
Well,
No,
what do you think about what the EU is doing? Because the EU is passing something fairly similar. Well, no, it's actually very different. But with TikTok, where TikTok has to compensate people that watch videos, because it's an exchange of data, right, that they are pulling to help their algorithms, to sell advertisements, all these things. And the viewer is not compensated. So the EU is like, no. You have to start compensating EU viewers of your video.
Interesting.
Weird.
Yeah.
Erica, Rayon, what's y'all's thoughts on this topic?
For TikTok, so like I used to, when the pandemic started, I feel like that's when TikTok really like, took off here. And so I was a big fan of it. Like I was watching those dance videos, enjoying the content, and it was good times. But to your point, now the algorithm does just feed me doom and gloom and things that are crazy and stuff that I'm not even interested in. So as of like the last couple months, I literally just jumped off TikTok. I was like, this is like poisoning my mind. I don't even care to look at this. And I get, the younger generation, like, they have like some of them, making great money on there, right? There's TikTokers making good money. Maybe I'm a little boomer in this side of it, but I'm just like, I'll stick to Instagram Reels. They feed me what I actually like. And, there's no no problems with them. But I do agree that I feel like TikTok is kind of taking a turn for the content they're giving us. And as far as like them banning it, there is like right. It's just like if this happens to TikTok, it can happen to us all, just like you guys were saying.
Slippery slope.
Right. Imagine if we lose TG, how much business of Web3 is done on TG? Almost all of it. So it's kind of like it just exactly that opens the doors for just, more things to happen like this. I don't think it should be banned personally. Better moderation, yes. And if people are really that desperate for their TikTok, they're gonna get a VPN. They're gonna figure it out. Like I can't imagine anyone's like that desperate for it, but maybe they are. I don't know.
Just wait long enough and it'll be re-uploaded to Facebook or YouTube Shorts anyway. So
there you go. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Is they'll just pick it. They'll pick a different platform.
Zuckerberg's behind the whole thing. He's like, he wants Instagram Reels to win. So he's like, guys, we got to get this banned. Help me out. Here's your kickback.
Yep. And they did introduce that on YouTube as well, where you can do lives in vertical mode. So they're definitely like, they know, people, if they don't upload it to TikTok, they'll find a different platform. I would say that people would probably go to YouTube more. If they did their research, they would find that they would make better money on YouTube versus Instagram or something like that. But, I'm anti because it is a slippery slope and I'm afraid of like what it would do for some of the other apps, of course, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm for it just because I don't really think that it adds a lot of value to our society as a whole. One thing that I do I use it. I don't have a huge following on there, but like I post it just because if I'm already making content, I'm going to cross post it wherever I can. But they do have a utility that's really good for creators where you can basically see what people are searching for, and there's not a lot of videos to match their search. So you can use it to your advantage. If that does go away, I don't know of another platform that offers something like that. So it does have a few gems for creators, and I know a lot of people are making money off of it and they really depend on it. So it's really hard. I think that if Trump does get elected into office, I don't know if he would be able to revoke something like that, but I can see him being like, you know what, fuck this. Like, we're going to, bring TikTok, make TikTok great again. Like,
oh my God. That's his new campaign platform. You figured it out.
Yeah.
Figured it out.
That sounds like a rebranding to me.
People are crazy. Like if he used that as part of his, like, we're not going to ban TikTok. Do you know how many people would actually probably vote for him just based upon that? Like people vote for the craziest reasons.
I don't want to get too political, but
no,
without touching too much on the politics, I'm already seeing what you're talking about because of Biden's new unrealized gains tax and capital tax.
Oh man.
When I saw he wants to tax unrealized gains, I'm over here like, so you're saying don't invest in U.S. companies?
Yeah.
Like you don't want us to risk our money to support the economy because you're going to tax me on it, even if I do start making profits that I haven't.
I think that it was like a certain wealth bracket, but yeah, that's literally just like asking, like that's literally you asking you to take all the risk for them, pay them, and then see you later. Like, cause like, yeah, what happens if you have an unrealized gain and you paid taxes on it and then you get rugged or something like?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was.
And so actually the brackets are between 400K to 1 million is like where it starts
Yeah.
and where it ends. So the 44% is at 1 million and above.
So let's make all the politicians pay it and not us. Okay, that's cool with me.
Yeah.
Oh man,
And that's what I'm okay with. If you said, hey, if you make over X, like over, let's say, like you said, if you make over 1 million in unrealized gains, okay, maybe we should tax you. But me, how are you gonna tax me, the average Joe that maybe gets $50 on a play, right?
But I think this is why it starts at 400K. Like, so it's 400 to 1 million. Like it starts
Okay,
at
I didn't know it
and then
started.
maxes out at 1 million. Yeah, I think this is how
Okay.
it's supposed to work. But regardless,
I still
like when you're actually talking about investing in companies, trying to grow them and be an ecosystem. Like I was just at Dubai, right? Man, Dubai has grown so freaking quick in like 20 years because it's like, hey, taxes, leave that in your home country. Like we're going tax free, baby. Like anyone want to invest, like it's all free here. Like you want to like skip tax. They're just making it so flow of capital is easy and free. And for us, like to constrict that, like really, I think just hobbles us I think we're all Americans. It hobbles us for that kind of growth in business and like, you know, being a nation that like really drives startups. Yeah.
Well, the thing with Dubai too, don't they have like debt is illegal? Isn't that why there's like abandoned like Lamborghinis and stuff all over Dubai? So like it's like you can't like take out a bunch of debt and invest in businesses and then like not pay it back because then you got to be on the run and never go back to Dubai. So like there's the you know, pros and cons I think there too.
Yeah, the Lamborghini's all washed away in the floods.
Wait, can you guys hear me? I feel like
now we can.
Oh my god, I went on like a whole spiel and I don't think any of it was picked up.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
You're here now. You're here now.
Yeah.
No, I don't even know what
Let's
I
hear
said
it.
now. Oh my god, I can't go back. Oh well.
It's okay. We'll keep moving forward because I kind of want to move away from the whole Biden Trump talk anyway.
Good idea.
We don't do politics over here. We don't judge who you vote for or what you do. Just go vote. So that being said, we have Hollywood is apparently starting to get more involved in Web3. There's actually a company. There's a new Web3 games publisher that's being launched in the United Arab Emirates called Galactic Entertainment Publishing. And this, what'd I say?
No, you say it's in the UAE, which is Dubai or
okay.
Abu Dhabi. So,
but they already have a game called Planet Quest, which is reportedly already onboarded over 200,000 NFT users. And it's headed by a former Disney boss along with Hollywood and gaming luminaries. That's all it says. So I don't have names.
The Illuminati? Wait, what?
Yeah, luminaries. Little different. The only name I have is that the firm's chief creator is John McCoy, who has worked on previous AAA blockbusters throughout his career, but he said that those experiences do not compare with his work that he's currently doing with Galactic Group. So I think this is cool to see people kind of leave the traditional sectors and move to Web3 and try things over here. I'm a little skeptical on that number of 200,000 NFT holders onboarded. I don't know many games that do that even as Web3 natives. And this is a game I personally haven't heard of as a gamer yet. So I haven't
even seen the NFT. But what is?
Yeah,
I haven't looked that far into it, unfortunately. Let's see.
Yeah, like let me see the OpenSea. Or
I looked into this even on their website. Like if you go to the About Us, it just has their vision and then like 2 or 3 sentences on their team. Like zero doxed.
Also a rug.
They're
yeah. So to say like,
it looks like they're using their own marketplace, and the NFTs are planets. However, there's not very many listed, surprisingly.
Interesting. What chain is this?
Are you sure this is not on Immutable? Because I see Planet Quest on Immutable. Is that the same Planet Quest we're talking about here? Maybe they're on Immutable.
I'm not sure. I'm just on their website, and they've got their own built-in marketplace. Let me see. The price.
Yeah, I was going to say the
is
name looks
3.5
familiar.
ETH
Damn.
for one of their planets is 3. They're using ETH, so I wouldn't assume they're immutable.
Yeah, no, they are on Immutable, but Immutable says there's 483 owners of their planets, and there is 211,000 owners of their items on. If you look on tokentrove.com and go to Planet Quest, that's the Immutable X marketplace, and it actually does say 211.2 thousand owners on Immutable.
1,000 bots. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Without digging further, I can't really say much on this, but I don't know. There's a lot of red flags for me.
The thing with Immutable, it is very easy to create an account with just like a Google account. So yeah, you could have people with 10 Google accounts, farming NFTs or whatever. So it's very easy to create an account on Immutable Passport. So that could be the wallet number, because you basically get a mirror address automatically created, and it's linked to your login. So Immutable is very easy for the onboarding, so I'm not surprised that they're there.
But you know what they might have done, because Immutable, I think only just 2 months ago, was announcing that they had 200,000 Passport users. They could have airdropped every Passport user one of their planets.
Mm-hmm. That's smart. Yeah, 200,000 people. They all got it for free without knowing. But it's like that YouTube song that hit your iPhone. 2 billion downloads. Well,
I mean, it matches up. So if they are Immutable, because they're Immutable's announcing 200K Passport owners. Just kind of matches up a little too closely.
Yeah, I mean the volume's only 6 ETH in 7 days, so yeah, there's definitely not a whole lot of volume going on.
That sounds like what it might be.
Yeah,
I'm looking at my inventory right now to see if I have anything.
Oh, good idea. Yeah. Imagine you're like, what?
We're all
I
holders.
don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see that I've been. Yeah, I don't see that I've been airdropped.
You don't see it.
I love how skeptical we all are, because it's like Hollywood and Web3, and we're like, no, this can't be real.
You're like, what are you doing here? What are you trying to do?
No,
here?
You had us tell Disney.
I haven't heard of them either. I haven't heard of them either. I haven't heard of the NFT, and I mean, I think that all of us are on X for a big majority of our day. At least I am, and so for us to not even hear about this, it's a little bit suspect.
Yeah.
But it says that they've been building it for 2 years. Their X page is joined Planet Quest.
I was just looking at their 2021. X page.
Let me look at this. Let me check this.
How do they have 72K followers already?
And we haven't heard of them. This is just really strange.
Do they have a airdrop hashtag coin thing? Oh, PQX airdrop platform. Is that it?
Maybe.
Well, I feel like the same thing too is think about Hollywood or Disney or whatever. They probably also have much different marketing channels than crypto Twitter and whatnot. So it's there's probably some user acquisition channel, maybe other than Immutable or whatever, or maybe they did some kind of campaign with them that we all missed. But
all right, let me log into my Facebook for the first time.
I'm just checking the comments because they recently announced a partnership apparently with Revolving Games, which I am familiar with.
Yes.
And this struck me as odd, so I started reading the comments, and I'm pretty sure this is botted. If this is not botted, then what they're doing is they're using those engagement incentives, go like and retweet or go post a comment, because right now there's a whole bunch of ticker comments.
It's all arcade, and I don't even think that has.
Well,
to
it's
do
not
with
even
them.
just arcade. There's a bunch of also the PQX for Planet Quest. There's a few for arcade. And then there's a bunch of people just dropping invite or referral codes or something. So this just looks like a bunch of engagement farming. I don't think this is a genuine growth.
That's what I thought. Yeah, platform. I was like, if we haven't heard of it and it's something like that, because I didn't pay attention to any of that block stuff or pack and all of that. But it's huge. You want to get engagement, those things are huge. So probably.
I have it muted. I can't stand it. Like
So
I
smart.
don't want that to fill up my feed.
Yeah, garbage.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is me guessing, but I'm assuming that they did the traditional, we're going to bot our account, get those vanity numbers, so that way we can start getting partnerships rolling. And now they're using engagement quest platforms to beef up the comments and stuff.
So here's the thing. When you click on the Connect X thing, it says follow Planet X Connect Wallet, which is your immutable X wallet, which they're probably going to airdrop you some item to pump that number up. And then there's some referral code. So
let's test it. Go ahead, you do it.
There's the, no, I just was looking at the screen. I'm not even connecting. I'm just looking at what their process was. So they are, doing a bit of social engagement farming for sure. But if they're actually giving people items in the game, maybe 10% of them might turn into real users. That's how most thing goes. You go to a casino, they give you $20 to gamble, and then maybe you spend $2,000.
See, I was actually kind of interested in the game. I love sci-fi. I've been playing a lot of Star Citizen, and I found that Space Nation Web3 game, and I was actually really enjoying that. But they just lost me because I'm reading the wiki and it says the game's in 3D and it's played down from a top-down perspective. Think of someone trying to put a shooter into a MOBA. I'm sorry, but I've already seen a bajillion of those formats of games and I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I love space and I would love to give their game a try, but I can't. Like the Machines Arena on Ronin, I actually do enjoy, but they followed that format too, and I can't do it. I've played so many of them, and it's not bad for mobile genre, but it's not something I'm going to pull up on my PC and sit there and grind for hours.
Definitely gets repetitive.
If it was on a controller and I could sit on the couch with my controller, maybe we'll talk. Maybe.
Talk about it.
But if I'm at the computer, I want a fully engaged game. Like I'm playing Star Citizen, I'm playing World of Warcraft. Like there's a lot going on the screen. I'm having to pay attention. It's not just me pointing and clicking, right? And that's what a lot of these top-down shooters are. Is it's point and click while you move around the map. That's it. So I think this one's going to be a miss for me. But I want them to succeed purely on the fact that I want to see people kind of leave that Web 2 space, leave the comfort and security of the norm, come over here, try stuff out, and try to find what works. But they got to do it properly. Is this being done properly? I can't say. I'm not a business savant. I'm a gamer.
Wait, enter Zanga. They're doing it right. Shout out my hoodie. You guys heard of Sugartown? You guys heard of Sugartown, right? Web 2 coming Web 3. Yeah. You don't think they're doing it right? Give me a breakdown. I need to hear. I need it.
I don't do mini games. And that's all Sugartown's throwing out so far. If they show me something that's actually worth my time, cool. But I'm not a leaderboard person. I'm not trying to be like number one on the leaderboards, except for Moonray. Shout out to Moonray. I know I'm working with them. Full disclosure.
Except for
Moonray, I am competing to be because I'm already top 10 on their leaderboard, but I want to be the top content creator on their leaderboard. So
I'm number 99. Let's go.
It's an exception. But generally speaking, 99.9% of the time, I don't care about your leaderboards. I want a fun game that's going to keep me engaged and make me want to keep playing. And a lot of the games just aren't there yet. Sorry, guys.
Darn.
If I was still in my esports days, like I wanted to be sweaty, that's a different story. We got plenty of like competitive games. Like Nyan Heroes just had their playtest a few weeks back.
Love that game.
I put some hours into it, but then Space Nation had their campaign start like halfway through their playtest, and I was like, "Bye, Nyan Heroes." I know they're all doing play to airdrop, but I wasn't playing for the airdrop. I was just playing for the game. So, but yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming. It's just we got to be a little bit more patient, and that's my problem. Is I'm like, you guys have raised tens of millions of dollars. It's been years, and the best I've got is a tech demo. Where's my game? Give me some. And everybody's like, but it takes time and it takes even more money. And I'm like, has anybody seen Power World, Helldivers 2, Last Epoch? There's indie devs out here proving you don't need 10 years and $300 million to make a game. I'm just saying.
Power World was 7 years.
No, Power World
played that still.
Power World started dev in 2021.
No. They had been working on it for quite some time.
It was within recent years. It was after 2020. And they started, You might be thinking of the
I would type, but I don't want to
figure.
clack too loudly.
Let's see.
I'm like, I can't look it up.
Oh my
Here we go. Here we go. You
No,
should
but
play Palworld though. It's fun.
You're
Is it?
right.
I
There
need to try
definitely is. There definitely is indie devs out there, like small indie studios and solo devs and stuff out there putting out passion projects that don't get enough attention and are definitely more polished than a tech demo sometimes, for sure. But I hear what you're saying there.
So the closest I have to confirmation is they were hiring in 2020 for the project, and the game was revealed officially in 2021.
Yeah, the CEO did kind of a recap, like when they launched, just kind of like a brain dump of like, man, making games is fucking hard, and here's like the journey we've had and all the pivots and what we thought would take. 10 people took 50.
I think I know where you're coming from. So I do remember he said in the early stages there was a lot of like planning and conceptualization. I'm talking about the actual dev period, because let's be honest, a lot of these games in Web3, they don't get funding until they've already got their concept and everything in place or figured out, at least.
In 2020, 2021, like if you just even were thinking that you might think of an idea, you were getting funded. So I think that the situation has certainly changed. Like, thank God.
Well, I'm not saying all games. No, because like
all the ones that say AAA, like, man, you better bring it. Like, come on. What's the holdup? Like, at least give us, I think, an iterative approach to game making. Like, you don't have to give it all at once, but like, give it like.
Let me just give you an example. Let me just give you an example. Look, guys, I love Undead Blocks, but I got to drag them for a second. How much money have they raised? Didn't they also get partnered with the gambling platform? And what have they done with their games since all of that? Last I checked, it's still the same levels with the same characters, the same weapons, and maybe one or two new enemy types.
I had friends that were like die hard playing that game, loved it, and were like, this is garbage now. Like, everything they're doing, they hate it, and left the game. I was like, damn, that's brutal.
I loved it too. I did.
You did, yeah.
They
you don't play it anymore, right?
I even talked with their team directly, and I told them what I believe they needed to find success, because they were talking about mobile launch, and I'm like, no, you're not ready for mobile. Don't even think about mobile yet. So I told them, add at least two more maps. Give us a little diversity so we get new areas to explore, maybe some new modes. I'm okay with the amount of modes. They got a decent amount already, but more modes would be nice. More weapons to choose from. Like, you can't copy Call of Duty's format and only have a single map and a handful of guns. It doesn't work that way. If Call of Duty Zombies was like that today, nobody would be playing it. You have to have more variety, because your core loop doesn't change. You're killing zombies, you're staying alive, you're fighting bosses every single time. So you have to put the variety elsewhere, and that's going to be your environment and your play style. They have not done any of that. And I kept getting told for the last 2 years, I've been told, oh, we got new maps. Our devs are on it. We're working on it. 2 years of being told we're working on it. It's coming. I haven't even seen a teaser. What do you mean it's coming? When? I'm tired of being told it's coming. And that's not just an Undead Blocks problem. This is across the board with a lot of the bigger games. And that's why when I see a bajillion content creators hyping something up, talking about this is the next big game in Web3, I sleep on it. I ignore them, because the games that I've genuinely had the most fun on are the ones that creators aren't talking about. And they're the ones struggling to get funding because people aren't talking about them. And it's so annoying to see.
Oh, I hear you. And talking about copying Call of Duty, there's still 5,700 people playing Black Ops 3 because they perfected zombies, guys. So there's literally still 5,000 people playing custom zombies on PC. So if you want a zombies game, just go get Black Ops 3 when it's like $20. There's
Only if it was Web3. I'm sorry, Web3 gamer here.
Nah, see, that is the thing, though. So that's a point that I would like to pull out. If you have a game of the same quality and the same level of content, so you got the same number of maps, same number of weapons, same number of characters, everything plays the same, but on one, you actually own your skins and assets, you can sell, trade them, whatever, and the other, you can't. I'm gonna jump in the one where I might get some return. I might not get 100%. I might not even be net positive. But if I quit the game and I want to sell all my stuff and that option's available, that's the game I'm going to put my time into. So there is a little bit of a benefit if you can nail down copying a game the right way. Undead Blocks hasn't cut it. If you're going to copy zombies, you need to actually copy zombies. Like, give us more maps, give us more characters, more modes.
You're talking about copying a game from a company that's been doing this, 20 Call of Duty games, has 4,000 employees working on these games. So I think to your point about like, come on, you've had a couple years to do this. It's like, man, for an actual AAA game, you're talking like minimum, $50 to $80 million plus an army of people over like 5 to 7 years. And these people are like, after 2 years, we're going to have like this MMO, procedurally generated planets everywhere. And, we're also going to integrate blockchain. And it's like, it's like, slow down. Like, you're innovating everything and shortening the time frame of development. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, that's because tools, more as these engines evolve, the development cycle is shortening. We have AI tools now. We have all these new shortcuts and features in Unreal 5 that we didn't have in 4. It is possible to shorten those dev cycles and still provide the same level of quality. The issue that I'm finding, I don't think it's a funding or a time problem. I think it's a skill issue. And I don't say that ironically. I think people are hiring developers and programmers that may not necessarily be the best in their field. Whereas these AAA studios, they, like you said, they've got years of experience. They know who to look for in candidates. And they're going to go and find and spend money on people that are going to get the job done and get the job done right. Whereas we're just trying to get a game out. We don't care if it's done right, wrong, buggy, if it's AAA graphics or not. We're just trying to get games out. So I think that's where the real issue is we just don't have the talent yet to genuinely rival while simultaneously reducing those dev times. So I know me, for example, if I'm editing a video and I know how to do something because I've done it before, I can knock it out 5 to 10 minutes. But if I'm having to learn something new to adapt to whatever demand is being made for that video, then I'm on YouTube, and that's going to extend out my editing process because I'm having to learn as I figure it out. So I think that's really where the issue is in Web3. We just have people that are essentially on YouTube as they develop the game because they're trying to learn how to get things to work they haven't done before. That's my theory. Whether or not I'm right, I don't know. But I don't think it's a money issue or a time issue. I think it's literally just a skill issue.
Skill gap huge.
Again, like we look at indie devs. I just look at the indie scene right now. They are killing it.
The argument against that would be like actually the most skilled workers at, let's say, like at Activision, where you're in just like a sea of people want to jump to something new, want to jump to a smaller, more ambitious project. But that's like, it's all subjective, like from game company to game company, like to say that also it's a skill issue. Like, it's that's a hard one to prove or disprove.
You're right, because in Bethesda's case, it's an engine issue. Get a new engine, Bethesda. You can have the most skilled developers in the world, and they still can't figure out how to work around that thing. AKA Starfield. I had such high hopes for Starfield. I'm sorry. Bethesda disappointed me because they refused to let go of their engine. Anyway, we're at the top of the hour, and we're only 2 topics in. Does anybody have a hard stop? Otherwise, we're going to plow through these last 2 topics real quick.
No, we're good to go. Good to go.
Okay, Animoca Brands is partnering up with Square Enix. I don't really know anything about this other than Animoca Brands and Square Enix and Symbiogenesis, because I know Symbiogenesis is kind of their, like, it's hard to call it a flagship Web3 title, but that is essentially
it was
Square
a fun
Enix.
Treasure hunt.
It's Square Enix's foray into Web3. I didn't play it. I didn't participate because once I learned it's not an actual game, it's more of like a community social experiment. I was like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah, same. I didn't play it either. But I mean, I like to see, I'm not surprised, I guess, that Animoca is partnered with them just because they are a giant. Square Enix is a giant. Giants unite. Animoca Brands is, pretty much everywhere. And their partnerships are pretty on point, I think. I guess, am I really excited about it? No, not really. But for the same, I mean, I think it's cool, but at the same time, like, I'm not excited about it. I didn't play Symbiogenesis, and it's not to knock it because I know that a lot of people really did like it, but same thing. I just didn't. I just wasn't.
I thought
really
it was okay.
in it.
It was fine, you know.
It just depends what type of experience you want out of games. I've heard some people really enjoyed Symbiogenesis because of the way that it was handled. Again, it was like a giant. The story kind of revolves around community choices and voting or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, not something I'm particularly a fan of. I know Silent Hill did the same thing in Web 2. They had this mobile app, and fans could spend money and vote and determine the outcome. And I did participate initially, but then once I saw that it was whoever spends the most money essentially determines the outcome, I was like, nah, I'm out. I'm done.
I actually didn't get into it because I saw your post. I was excited and I was going to like download it after work. And I saw your post on X and I was like, nah, I'm good.
I actually, the first 2 weeks I did follow the story. I watched the decisions. I participated on the little mobile app and stuff. I even bought the founders pack to have my little name and badge and stuff just because I love Silent Hill. But the story, just the way that the community was voting, and like I said, it depends on whales. So whoever spends the most money, their outcome is picked. I wasn't happy with where things were going, and they were trying to say that this is all canon lore. And I'm like, if this is canon, the community just fucked Silent Hill. I'm sorry, I'm out. Don't put your story in the hands of the community unless you have a genuine diehard community and you can cater to the people that are familiar with your game. Just blasting a mobile app out and telling the entire world to vote. Yikes. So I don't know. When it comes to the Square Enix news, I like Square Enix. I love their games. I grew up with them, played probably every Final Fantasy to date, minus 16 because I don't have a PS5. But when it comes to the Web3 side, I haven't even seen Square Enix really promote Symbiogenesis. I don't think I've even seen them promote Web3 at all on main.
It was something I was told, like when I was, doing campaigns and stuff for that we weren't like supposed to really link the two at the time. We weren't supposed to talk about it. Yeah, I know. So we were just supposed to talk about Symbiogenesis and not like their partnership like that, which I can't remember why. There was something about it where they were like, keep it separate for now, I guess. So yeah, it's not something that's really talked about.
Yeah,
Square Enix is really interesting. Like they have been partnered with Elixir for a while, right? Like at least like 2 years, and it's just
now they partnered with Hyperplay too, if I remember correctly.
Love
Square Enix is throwing money everywhere, I guess. I don't know what's going on.
They are, just to see where it sticks. And so it is kind of interesting to see, like, what is their tactic here? Like, are they just trying to get into a little bit of everything, see where it sticks? Like, what is going on?
I don't know. I wish them the best. I want to see Square Enix succeed in Web3 and maybe get an actual, like, full game out here. But I feel like they're still just kind of... they're afraid to take the plunge. They're dipping their toes in a little bit, but I think they're still worried about the community lashback if they were to come out as fully supportive of Web3. That's my guess. I think that's why they're wanting to keep the two separate for now.
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
Speculating. And our final topic, we have Game 7 has announced, I actually like the name. I feel like they killed it with the name. Dungeons and Degens. I don't know who came up with that name, but give that person a raise.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
On point, for sure.
I love it too. I saw that and I was like, why didn't I think of that?
Now, these types of platforms, I'm personally not a fan of because to me, it just gamifies engagement and incentivizes number fluff. However, that being said, again, I appreciate whoever came up with the name. It sounds like they're trying to do something a little different. But they're working with some really big name games. We got Pirate Nation, So Rare, Gunzilla, which for those that aren't familiar, they're the ones doing Off the Grid. Shrapnel, Star Atlas, Cypher, Mighty Action Heroes, Boomland, Everseed, and Portal Fantasy.
Love me some Shrapnel.
Yeah, some great names on there. I'm familiar with most of them.
Shout out their intern too.
I mean, really, because there's so many of these platforms, right? These questing platforms. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It really just incentivizes very short-term engagement. I think just reading a bit into this, not super familiar, is that they're just trying to add narrative on their own platform. So I mean, just seeing it as a differentiator. And look, I love the Game 7 peeps. Also, great games that they have, kicking this off. But I just don't see that that's like the USP you're looking for. Like, hey, we do what everybody else does, but we have a story. Like, actually, the people are here just trying to like farm valuables from a game for 1 week and then leaving that game.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys try and build your avatars on there?
I'll tell you right now, I haven't done anything. I've tried so many of these platforms at this point. I've got accounts on so many of these platforms that I touch them and go. I don't I look at it and I try to see if they're doing anything that appeals to me and have yet to find one.
It's on an interesting chain. I've never heard of this chain either. It's ZK Sync Era. Have you guys heard of Era chain? You have? Okay, yeah, I've never seen.
Excuse me, ZK Sync, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. I've never used it.
It's a roll up. It's like a level 2.
So you like create this avatar before like onboarding quests, do the Discord stuff, all that, and then you like select DNA traits to kind of like build your avatar. But then like now I got to get funds onto this chain to pay for the gas to do it all, and I'm like, that was my roadblock. I was like, nah, we'll talk about it later.
I don't know. I this is another situation of I wish them the best of luck, but it's not something I personally see any appeal to.
I feel that
they had something. They had something similar. Game 7. I remember I created an account on it, and it was like I said, something like very similar. And so I don't know if it's something completely different than that, or if it's building upon what they have. If they're just trying to like try something new to get people on their platform. Not really sure, but I don't really know. Like outside of this, I don't really know what Game 7 does. They're not a launcher.
They're a DAO.
They're a DAO? Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. So, I actually got to see their booth at ETH Denver, not this year, but last year. So.
Oh, it's right on their name, Game 7 DAO. Duh. I knew that.
Yeah.
I think like on the positive side, I think anything that's like kind of uniting different games together under like one umbrella, and like, maybe that will, have these games supporting other games too, and saying like, we're doing this campaign. I think like that, like kind of guerrilla marketing, when done the right way, can be super helpful, as long as it causes some kind of stickiness and it's not just people bouncing around. But just like any kind of marketing, you're not going to retain 100% of the people. Like, you might only retain 10% of the people. But I think, in Web3, it's like, any benefit is a good benefit, in my opinion. I know we definitely tend to be skeptics pretty often. But like, I think there's not really a lot bad to say about this. It might not be for you. It might not be for me. But if it's for people trying to onboard and like, there's people trying to go from like, $0 to $1,000, and, maybe they're just all over these platforms. And then, maybe they get, their goal, and then they start playing 1 or 2 or 3 of these games like more regularly. So I definitely think these platforms are for a certain audience. Maybe it's not for us. Maybe it is for some of us, but I think, it's overall a net positive, in my opinion, just to, unite different games together and kind of like put them all under one umbrella.
I don't disagree. I just feel like there's too many of these platforms doing that at this point. So if they're all united under multiple umbrellas, is it really that beneficial?
Yeah, I hear you.
I agree with you. This is a good thing. It's just we've seen this good thing happen multiple times.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I use Moku. That's my like go-to for that one. But
you're a Ronin Maxi. You don't count.
Yeah, okay, that's true. But in terms of like retention, though, you do right. In terms of retention, though, like I did the quests, I did the things, and I like the games, and like that's kind of like mostly why I play a lot of Ronin stuff. And I feel like exactly that. Like if they make it something other than just like engagement farming, like. I know Ronin Maxi, I know, but Moku has their Moki, their little PFP series, and they have a game now. So they're building upon that engagement to make it something more than just that. So if Game 7 can kind of do that, it seems like they're trying to do that. We'll see how that goes, though.
Well,
Yeah.
does anybody have anything to add on that one? I got one final topic to touch on.
Oh.
This one's not quite as happy.
Oh, this
but,
is the. Okay.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, before we wrap up the show, I just wanted to go ahead and give a huge thank you to you guys here on the panel today, as well as all of our previous panelists who have joined us over the last year or so. But this is going to be my final episode of the Block Sauce. I know. I've been working with these guys for about a year now. I do not know what the future holds for the show itself. You guys know me. I'm all about transparency. So I'm going to tell you what I know, even if I'm probably not supposed to say it. But as of right now, this is what I know. This week is going to be the final run of content for the Block Sauce. We do still have a couple of YouTube uploads coming. And then the show is being put on hold is what I was told. I do not know if they're planning on finding a new host or if the show is just being discontinued temporarily. I don't know what the situation is. So you guys can speculate along with me. I was just told that this is my last week here, and that the show will be put on pause. So I've had a lot of fun doing this with you guys. I've learned a lot. I've never done panels before they brought me on to do this. So I've definitely, from start to finish, I've seen drastic progress working with all you guys. It's been a fun ride. I'm not necessarily upset or mad or anything. Like I'm disappointed, obviously. You know, you kind of build a content brand. It's your baby. You've been working on it for so long. And then because it's somebody else's brand, technically, you know, it sucks. But I went into this with that understanding. So I'm not really mad or anything about it. Just a little disappointed that we can't keep going. I don't know if I'm going to pull the show and do my own thing. It has been asked from people who we've interviewed previously if that was going to be the case. I
You
want
are
to.
the show.
I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I could just do it for free and keep the brand, I would. But the problem is I have very limited time. So it's to a point with my time management. If I'm not paid for content, it's very hard for me to go out and make content. So it sounds bad because it's like I'm only doing content for the money. No, that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's just what originally brought me to the show is they were like, hey, we'll pay you to do this show. And I was like, cool, dope. But even my own personal brand, my streams and everything, for those that aren't familiar, my dog has kind of been in and out of the vet. Also my 9 to 5, we've had some struggles, so I'm having to do a lot more load over there. So I stay really busy and I haven't been quite as active on my own brand even. So there's some silver linings here in the fact that I get some of my time back, but I also would, you know, the money was nice to have. So
Well, looking forward to the next thing though. Like, I'm sure you'll sit back after like a month. You're like, I got an itch I need to scratch. Like, you know, for sure.
I mean, the fact, because I'm doing these during my 9 to 5 lunch breaks.
Me
Like,
too.
so-
I'm here on my break.
I got my
Same,
work
actually,
computer pulled up.
yeah.
Oh my God, look at us all.
So like I'm over here like, well,
Lunch
I could still technically do this without losing any of my real time, right? So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. Maybe they bring me back. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that this unfortunately is the last show I at least am available on as of right now. But I really have had a lot of fun. We've covered so many topics. We've gotten to interview so many games and work with so many other creators in bringing this show to life. It's been a fun ride, and I'm really happy that I even got the opportunity to do all this. So I'm looking forward to the next venture, whether it be my own or under somebody else's name. We'll see. But for now, that's going to be it for me, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's on you guys to keep the gaming flame alive. So if nobody else has anything here, I can go ahead and run into my little exit spiel, the usual. But that's
Hey man, I
that's where
just
we're
wanted to say, you know, you've crushed it hosting the Block Sauce for however long. I've been watching it before I was ever on the panel. I always thought it was like, you know, good content, and you've been a great host. You know, it's been a pleasure to be on a couple of the last shows and the last show. So you know, I just want to say, you know, you've crushed it up here, and definitely could do your own thing or something with someone else, or maybe it comes back around. So I think go off on a positive note. I don't think it all has to be doom and gloom, because
Exactly.
you're still you, and you still have all the skills and things that you've probably picked up doing this as well. So keep it up.
Exactly. That's why I'm not, like I said, a little disappointed, just a little, but overall, I'm not, keep moving forward. Again, nothing but positive experience working with the 021 guys, and Rod, especially. I see you over there in the chat saying I rock. But no, this is not like they're firing me and I'm going out screaming and stomping. No, this is genuinely like,
Who's coming with me?
they're taking a different direction, and I'm like, well, that's business, So that's just how it is sometimes. But again, really glad that I got to do this for the last year or so. It's probably been the only consistent Web3 content series, I guess I should say, that I've had, and probably the only consistent content series I've ever done, period, to be honest. Let's be honest. So this was kind of a love child for me, and letting it go does suck, but sometimes holding on is just, it does more damage. So not going to think too much on it. Next adventure, I will see you guys somewhere. You guys know where to find me. I'm on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow all these panelists too. For those that didn't catch the multiple hints and comments, Patrick down there, he's actually working on a game. So make sure you guys follow them, especially right now if you're into mobile. Couple of weeks, we might have PC.
PC coming.
Yes, let's go. So, and then of course the rest of the content creators up here. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fun ride. Normally this is where I would tell you, tune in next week. But obviously, stay tuned. Keep up to date on their Twitter. Again, maybe they find somebody else to keep the show alive. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully we will be able to bring back the sauce, even if it's with a new face. Love you. Stay tuned. Follow social medias. Follow these guys. I'm just going to repeat myself at this point. So we're going to say farewell. And until next time, thank you guys and have a good one.